So this morning I'm sitting with Big Daddy. Those of you that have followed this, you understand who Big Daddy is. He's like the creator of all things. He's the most high one. There's none like him, none beside him. People call him God. People call him a lot of things. But I call him Big Daddy because he's big and he's my daddy, and that's just how it is. So I'm sitting with him, as is my custom every morning, to start my day sitting with him in the secret place, Psalm 91:1. Check that out. I'm sitting with him this morning, and he took me to a strange place, which happens often. And we're at right toward the end of the book of Revelation. A lot of people just don't read Revelation because it's so, wow, it's so full of ununderstandable things by using our human understanding. You just can't understand the book of Revelation using this. It just can't be done. So Daddy's taking me there, and I'm like, okay, Revelation 21, let's go. And we went through quite a bit of it, and we got to this spot, and it was outstanding. It was like a 24 karat gold nugget that was just dropped in, and I just had to share it with you. This is unbelievable. This is very believable and really, really good. Revelation 21, verse 9. And one of the seven messengers, now this is John, one of the 12 disciples of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, Jesus the Messiah. One of his 12 disciples that he really loved a lot was named John. And John is at this point on a prison island. And they would put prisoners on this island and just, fend for yourself. No way to come and go other than by ships. So he's on this island, and he had been carried away in the spirit to this great and high mountain. And Daddy the angel was showing him a lot of things in the spirit, whatever that means. And so this is John. And toward me, John, came one of the seven messengers or angels, the ones having the seven bowls that were brimming of the seven calamities that were poured out on the earth at the last. And he speaks with me. So earlier in Revelation, there are seven messengers, seven angels, and they have these seven bowls. Each one has this bowl, and the first one pours his bowl out on the earth, and wow, some of the tribulation type stuff starts happening. And this is one of those angels, John's saying, one of those seven angels that had the seven bowls that just poured these calamities out on the earth. That part is not for the faint of heart, but probably should read that, find it, check it out. So one of these angels, John says, came to him and starts speaking with him, saying, "Come here, I'll show you the bride, the wife of the Lamb." And he carries me away in the spirit on a huge, high mountain. And he shows to me this great holy city, Jerusalem. Now, think of any city on the planet, and you can't attach the word Kodesh in the Hebrew, which is translated holy. This great word, I don't even know what it is, haven't looked it up, because I prefer the Hebrew word Kodesh. For instance, the Holy Spirit is in original Hebrew is the Ruach HaKodesh, the breath, the wind of the Father, the wind of the Most High One, the Spirit of Him, the Kodesh Spirit, the Holy Spirit. So this is a city that has the term Kodesh assigned to it. It's a great and Kodesh city, New Jerusalem. Woo! descending out of the heaven from Big Daddy, having the esteem or the glory of Big Daddy, and the light of the city is like a most precious jasper stone, like a gem. And the light is just, it's like a crystal light. And it has these 4 huge walls, big, thick, high walls, having 12 gates or portals. So we've got this new Kadesh city coming down from Big Daddy with his glory all on it and a light within it that is magnificent. And each of the walls of the 4 squared city have 3 gates or 3 portals in each wall. For instance, in the north wall, 3 gates. In the east wall, 3 gates. South wall, west wall, all 3 gates, 3 portals in this city. And on the portals, 12 messengers. So 12 angels. I looked into this and the words and the definitions of this, and it appears that these messengers are like over the gate. It's like you come up to one of these 12 gates, one of these 12 portals, and there's this angel that's just like, whoa, there, over that gate. And there were names inscribed over each portal or over each gate. So John's seeing all this. And he noticed that there was a name written over each of these 12 gates, and the 12 names were the 12 sons of Israel, Jacob, Yaakov, his 12 sons. You know, Simeon and Reuben and Judah and Joseph and Benjamin. They're all 12 sons. I can't name them all. But all 12 sons of Israel, each of their names were written over one of the gates. 12 gates, 12 sons, 12 names over the gates. Huge walls. Angels sitting on top of the wall or hovering over the gate, over the portal. And here's this name, Simeon, Joseph, or whatever. Whatever name. 12 portals, 12 names. All the names were the sons of Israel. Now, I got to that point and Daddy just smote my heart with Chesed. Now let me tell you about Chesed. Chesed is a Hebrew word that is very powerful, and even rabbis in even this day, they're like, wow, Chesed is huge. Chesed is untranslatable. Chesed is so, oh, that's just a big, full, powerful word. And its most easy translation into English is the Chesed of our Father is his loving kindness and tender mercies. But really and truly, that word Chesed, his loving, Big Daddy's loving kindness. I mean, do you fathom how immense that word is? His tender mercies. Think about all the mercies that have been given to us. I know there have to have been millions of mercies given to me, just for me. So Big Daddy's loving kindness and his tender mercies are shown on the names of these gate portals. These 12 names of the 12 tribes of Israel, or the 12 sons of Israel. Now, what struck me was, think about these 12 guys. Yosef, or Joseph, one of them, he was a dreamer. He got dreams from Big Daddy, and they were kind of, his brothers didn't like those dreams. Even his daddy was a little taken aback by one of these dreams. I mean, these dreams said that Yosef was going to be like this over all his brothers, and even his father and his mother were going to be like bowing down to him. He was going to be in that position somehow, some way. And boy, they just didn't like him. They didn't like these dreams. Now, he knew he had these dreams, and they were dreams from Big Daddy, and he just wanted to tell. Maybe he would have been better off not to tell, but because he told, that was woven into the perfectness of the chesed of our Father, into this tapestry that is so beautiful. So he tells the dreams to his brothers and his daddy, and they're like, oh man, and they hated, his brothers hated him, just hated him. And there are other reasons they kind of hated him, because he was kind of, his mama was not their mama. But he and Benjamin were born of Jacob's special wife. Back then they had multiple wives, concubines and stuff that they would have children out of. But wow, this wife was special to Jacob. Oh, he just loved her. And her first son was Joseph. Looked like she wasn't going to have any children. Finally had Yosef, or Joseph, however you want to pronounce his name, and then had Benjamin, and died having Benjamin. But at any rate, these two boys of Jacob, Yosef and Benjamin, Joseph and Benjamin, were very, very special to him, Benjamin being the youngest of the 12 sons. And the other brothers didn't like Joseph because he was highly favored of his daddy. His daddy even made him this coat, and it was a special, beautiful coat, all kind of different colors, and it was just wow. And they saw that, and they're like, okay, check out the brother with the pretty coat that our daddy made him. Man, I can't stand that dude. I hate that dude. You're not supposed to say that. I don't care. I just can't stand him. He thinks he's all that, got his coat now, and he's wearing his coat. It's just like, yeah, the little coat. And then some of his brothers hated him. We're getting there. So they're out doing what they do, keeping sheep or whatever, the herds. And Joseph shows up out there to check on them, making sure they're okay. Maybe he's bringing them food. I don't remember the exact story, but he's sent by his father to go out there, and he finds them. He's checking on them, so forth. And one of them has the bright idea: let's just kill this brother of ours. Let's kill him. Oh, we can't do that. Yeah, we can. Let's kill him. So one of them just really wanted to kill him. Then another one said, yeah, let's do it. Another one said, yeah, let's do it. So they find this pit, and they throw him in the pit till they can figure out, till they can get a consensus amongst the group there, the 10 of them there. I don't think Benjamin was there, but the 10 that were there, they could get a little consensus. Let's just put him in this pit and keep him there for now. Take that coat off of him too. Anyway, here's this caravan shows up in the distance. So this caravan headed to Mitzrayim, Egypt. They're buying and selling. And they're coming along. So one of them says, hey, whoa, let's don't just kill him. let's sell him. We can actually get some money. We can get some silver. We can divide it amongst ourselves. We can get a little money out of this deal. We can get rid of him, get rid of his dreams, get rid of his stinking coat that we hate, and we can get some money in our pockets. Whoa, that's a great deal. Hey, caravan, hey, come over here. So they stop one of the camels, whatever, and they pull him up out of the pit. And they take his coat off of him if they haven't already, and they take him out there tied up. He's like, all right, guys, hey, man, this ain't fun, okay? I'm your brother. What are you doing? What are y'all doing? Here, we want to sell this guy as a slave. You can't sell me as a slave. Have you lost your mind? This is crazy. My daddy our father will have a conniption fit. This will kill him. You can't do this. You can't sell me to these people. Have you gone crazy? And they sell him. They sold him as a slave. Wow, that's some hatred. That's some serious hatred. Some of them wanted to kill him and were going to kill him, but somebody else said, hey, let's sell him, and they did, and they sold him, and now he's tied to this entourage walking from Israel all the way to Egypt. Now look that up on a map. He's not getting his shower and 3 meals, and he's not in his Lexus, okay? He's tied up, nasty, been in a pit, his coat that his daddy made for him was taken from him. Then he's walking to Egypt. Wow. So now the rest of the story kind of goes quickly like this. He's sold as a slave. Some guy buys him, and his wife kind of likes Joseph, and she's wanting to, have a little side sexual throw with him. And he's like, no, I don't do that. And she accused him of trying to rape her, so he got thrown into prison, and he was in prison for years. And eventually, Pharaoh of Egypt, like the big daddy king of Egypt, he had a baker and a butler, and he suspected them of some wrongdoing, so he stuck them in the prison, and both of them had dreams, and Yosef being a dreamer and interpreter of dreams, he heard their dreams being in prison with them. Matter of fact, when he went in the prison, he wasn't there long before the guy over the prison put Joseph over the prison. Like, this is a right dude. This is a smart dude. He knows how to make things happen. Wow, he's got everything flowing properly around here. Man, you're in charge of the prison. I'm in charge. I'm an Egyptian, but I'm putting you over everybody. This guy had management capabilities. So Joseph, he interprets the dreams and interprets them properly. One of those guys was going to be put back in his position, and the other guy was going to be killed for doing what he did. And that came to pass. And it was years later before Pharaoh has a dream himself, and he's all messed up because of this dream. And one of the guys that had been thrown into prison remembered Joseph interpreted their dreams correctly. So he told Pharaoh, he said, there's a guy in prison that interpreted the dreams that we had. Remember when you put me and the other guy in prison, try to figure out? Yeah, I remember that, Pharaoh said. And he said, well, we had dreams in prison, and this guy who was in prison, he was running the thing, he interpreted our dreams, and it came out exactly what he said. He said, go get him, Pharaoh. Go get the guy. So they rushed down to the prison. They get Joseph, and of course they got to clean him up and get him all nice, new change of clothes and stuff. They bring him in before Pharaoh. Now, he's brought in before Pharaoh. This is not just a little corner office. And Pharaoh has this dream, and Yosef, giving all praise to Big Daddy for giving him the interpretation of Pharaoh's dream. Pharaoh immediately said, wow, what should we do about it? And Joseph, with his genius management skills and giftings, said, well, you need to do this. You need to build these buildings. You need to put the corn in here for the next so many years so that you'll have it during the famine years. And that way countries around you will be buying your grain that you've stored up, and you'll be able to get all their gold. I mean, you'll instead of coming through this crushed, you can come through this with the country Mitzrayim, Egypt, richer than all the countries around you. I mean, this could be a huge blessing. And Pharaoh put him over everybody in the country right under Pharaoh. So this guy was like the prime minister and the shot caller of everything for years. And when the famine hit, Egypt had plenty of grain stored up all over the place in these cities of storage that Yosef had designed and told them how to build. And then the famine hits, and his brothers and his daddy up in Israel country, Canaan, and they're like, well, I hear there's food in Egypt, and Israel sends some of his sons down there with some gold, silver, whatever to buy food because the famine was getting rough. And they go down there to Egypt, and it's a long story. You ought to read it. It's in Genesis. And they eventually appear before this Egyptian-looking dude that is the boss over everything. And it's their brother. And they don't even recognize him. Been a lot of years. And he's dressed like an Egyptian in clothing and got all this gold and speaking the Egyptian language. And all of a sudden his dreams about them coming to him and humbling themselves before him was being acted out. And they are saved through the selling of him so that he could be put in the right place for the right time for their saving to take place. Because had they not sold him, he would not have been in the right place to interpret Paro's dream, and Egypt would have been crushed in the famine just like everybody else, and who knows what bad things would have happened instead of what great things happened. Now, that was fun. I said all that to say this. John taken up to a high mountain with this angel, and he's seeing this city coming down from Big Daddy, and it's 4 walls, huge walls, thick walls. Each wall has 3 portals, 3 gates, and over each gate is one of those boys' names, one of those brothers' names, one of those 12 sons of Israel's name. Including the first one that said, let's kill him. And including another one that agreed with him. Yeah, let's kill him. Including the one that said, hey, let's don't kill him. Let's sell him. Let's get some money out of him. And you know what they did when they went back? They took that coat. They took that coat that they hated. And they put a bunch of blood on it and took it back to their daddy and said, "We don't know what happened to Joseph. We found this. His coat got blood all over it." And his daddy was... Oh. Whoa. His daddy was crushed. And for all these years, he thought that some wild animals got a hold of his son, killed him, tore him up, scattered his pieces all over the place. Who knows, maybe ate some of them. And all he's got is this bloody coat that he made for his son, one of his special sons, from his favorite wife that he loved. Yeah, those guys' names over every portal in the Kodesh city, the New Jerusalem, coming down from Big Daddy out of heaven. Their names engraved over each of the 12 gates of this Kodesh city. Wow. And I got there in reading this, knowing the story from Genesis, Bereshit, about these brothers. And it gave me just a little glimpse of that word I told you about early, chesed. The loving kindness and tender mercies of Big Daddy. It would take some loving kindness and manifold tender mercies to not only forgive those brothers, but to have their names etched over the portals of the gates of the Kodesh city, the new Yerushalayim, coming down from Big Daddy out of heaven. Wow. That, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is mercy. And mercy is a huge part of the well message of the kingdom. The well message of the kingdom is the message that shows that all things are already, in Big Daddy's mind, made well. All things are already made well. This is the well message of his kingdom. Mercy.